Mas Anies memang dipersiapkan menjadi pemimpin besar oleh keluarga, oleh lingkungan, dan oleh barangkali juga bimbingan dari Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Saya waktu itu sampaikan ke Mas Anies, Nis ya, beda usia 1 tahun, beliau lebih tua dari saya, jadi sekarang saya panggilnya Mas Anies aja ya. Nis, suatu saat nanti kamu bakal jadi orang besar. Sekarang mungkin Mas Anies mau nanya, Tifa, prediksikan saya jadi presiden enggak? Sebenarnya presiden itu kita di tahun 2024 sudah ada di Lauhul Mahfuz. Lalu yang lebih dari itu sebetulnya kalau boleh, karena saya berkembang menjadi ahli prediksi ya. Mungkin Bapak Ibu semua tahu saya Dr. Tifa, silahkan lihat di Twitter saya ya. Saya memprediksi beliau itu kurang lebih, kalau presiden terlalu kecil ya, saya melihat beliau itu nanti akan jadi betul, akan menjadi Sekjen PBB, dapat Nobel Perdamaian.
High school graduates in our neighbors able to go to our university at no cost. So we do hope that university could also become space for social repair. And then we look at the archipelago of Indonesia. Let's think beyond the city. It's about the deep gaps across our nations. The distance between urban centers and remote villages is not just spatial. The difference is it's about distance of opportunity. That's why we initiated a project called Indonesia Mengajar. It's a movement to send the nation's brightest university graduates to the remote area, to the most remote area of Indonesia. So sending a graduate of aeronautics from ITB to Kapuas Hulu. Let me give you illustrations going to Kapuas Hulu. 1 hour flight from Jakarta to Pontianak, 26 hours by bus to Kapuas Hulu, 5 hours by boat, and then another hour by motorcycles to reach the village. So you can go to London back and forth, and you're not there yet. Just to give you illustrations. Why that is the case, we want to ensure that we are part of those who want to make sure that the gap of opportunity can be narrowed. So I continued responsibility. I serve as Minister of Education, and again, we launched a project called Guru Garis Depan, a civil service initiative that places permanent, well-supported teachers in the frontiers, in the outmost and the most disadvantaged regions in our archipelago. These teachers were not designed simply to teach, simply for being an educator, but they're designed to be community leaders in the long run, anchoring the presence of the states where it had long been struggling to fulfill. So, when I was entrusted to serve as governor in Jakarta, I brought the same compass with me, which is social justice, both as directions and also as destination. I'll speak more in a moment about how we tried to apply this principle through the tools of architecture and urban design. But let me first offer some context to many of you who may not be familiar with Jakarta. Jakarta is one of the most dense cities in the world. It is a home of over 11 million people. It has one of the highest level of inequality in Southeast Asia, with a Gini index that hover around 0.4, and nearly half of its workforce is in the informal sectors, and about 1/5 of its residents live in poverty or near poverty. Therefore, any conversations about design in a city like Jakarta must begin with these realities. But on the other hand, Jakarta is also one of the most spatially fragmented cities in the region. Wealth and infrastructures were heavily concentrated in the centers and the south, while the north and west were struggling with chronic underinvestment, especially in housing, drainage, and green space. And when we come about the gap, the top is at par with those in many modern megapolitans across the globe, but those who are below were struggling deeply. So these spatial divides mirror social ones, but they're often reinforced by our design, by our regulations. And access to public services remain uneven. While some enjoy world-class hospitals, world-class schools, many others rely on overstretched public facilities and often located far from their homes. Give you an example. More than 25% of Jakarta's residents live in a neighborhood classified by the UN Habitat Standard as slum-like, and this is 25%. Where basic infrastructures like clean water, proper sanitations, or safe sidewalks are still lacking. So these experiences, how my life journey has been, and how I view this reality of the city, shape myself, seeing the city not simply as technical object. I saw the city of Jakarta as a moral and cultural landscape. A city is not only a place to live, but also a place to belong. And in a country as vast and as diverse as Indonesia, we cannot design cities with only engineering in mind. We must design with imaginations, because our geography demands that imaginations. Now, let me give you the Indonesian context here. When we talk about Indonesia, let's not begin with maps, but let's start with metaphor. Indonesia is indeed an archipelago.
Halo teman, berjumpa bersama saya di Politik dan Ilmiah. Ini menarik untuk kita bahas bagaimana ya nama Anies saat ini ya, masih menjadi trending ya, baik di media sosial, pemberitaan di televisi dan sebagainya. Ya, Pak Anies ini salah satu tokoh yang cerdas, pintar sekali menggunakan media sosialnya, teman-teman. Bahkan tidak baperan ya. Kenapa? Anies itu, ya kita tahu bahwa zaman sekarang ini teknologi semakin sangat berkembang, teknologi semakin maju, ya. Kemudian Gen Z, ya, milenial, itu semua orang melek tentang teknologi. Ya. Nah, Anies ini adalah pemimpin yang tidak kalah dengan teknologi. Beliau menggunakan teknologi dengan luar biasa untuk bersosialisasi kepada masyarakat, menyampaikan ide, gagasan, dan sebagainya. Dan apa yang dikatakan oleh Dr. Tifa bahwa Anies itu adalah bisa jadi menjadi calon pemimpin dunia, teman-teman ya. Dan dalam konteks ini bukan berarti menjadi sekjen PBB ataupun hal yang lain, tapi bisa jadi bekerja sama dengan lembaga-lembaga luar negeri, kan, internasional. Dan itu terbukti bagaimana Anies Baswedan kemudian saat ini bisa ke luar negeri ya, untuk membagi ilmu, untuk mengajar para mahasiswa. Itu adalah sebuah kegiatan yang menurut saya sangat bermanfaat bagi dunia gitu ya. Bahkan Anies ya bisa mengajar mahasiswa luar negeri juga. Itu sangat luar biasa, teman-teman. Tidak semua tokoh dapat melakukan yang Anies kerjakan. Inilah kenapa kita harus bangga dengan apa yang dilakukan oleh Anies Baswedan. Terkait dengan kemudian banyak buzzer yang menyerang, mengkritiknya itu ya nggak masalah. Karena apa? Karena semakin dikritik, semakin diserang. Anies itu melambung tinggi, ya kan? Langsung naik daun. Tidak ada kata-kata beliau minder, tidak ada kata-kata beliau itu takut dan sebagainya. Dan ini adalah membuktikan bahwa Anies itu betul-betul seorang yang berpengalaman dewasa dalam berpolitik, dalam menghadapi kritikan. kurang keras apa kritikan tahun 2017 ketika Pilgub Jakarta 5 tahun beliau menjadi gubernur, teman. Itu sangat keras sekali, ya. Disitulah beliau ditempa menjadi pemimpin yang sangat luar biasa, ya. Dan itulah kenapa alasannya Anies saat ini masih berjaya, teman-teman. Bagaimana menurut kalian?